Hello, my dear students. This is your English mentor, Miss Kambeni. Today we are going to study the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So let's get started. Robert Frost was an American poet of the 20th century who writes about common, ordinary experiences of life. He is known for his realistic depictions of daily life. This poem, published in 1916, is about one's journey of life. The poem, The Road Not Taken, does not only mean way in this poem. It is about making choices, where it talks about the struggle that an individual faces while making decisions in life. The poet wants to convey a message that we are our choices, so whatever choices we make will determine about tomorrow. Let's have a quick look on the poem. First stanza. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Here we have a traveller who has used metaphor where two roads represents choices in life. The poet is on journey in the woods, where he talks about yellow woods, which indicates autumn. The poet was struggling himself of the decision he is going to take. He regrets that he cannot travel on both the roads because as one traveler he could travel on one road only. So the poet kept standing there for a while and looked at one path where it's going to lead and hopefully get a better decision. He says, as long as I stood and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Here, the undergrowth represents an unknown world, which means the unknown future, the obstacles, the difficulties in life that distracts an individual to achieve certain goal. In second stanza, Dan took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was crossy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. In second stanza, the poet now looks down the other path and thought it will be better because it was crossy and was obvious that very few people had taken the path. Then he says that both the roads were equally good, but to him the second road turns out to be better because it was unused and wanting to get explored, and also the path that is not as common might be better one. Third stanza. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, and knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Here, the paths equally lay there on that very morning without having been walked down. The leaves were fresh, as no steps had trodden them black with footsteps or pressed down into the mud. So both paths were untaken on that very particular morning. And the poet decided that he will keep the first road for another day and took the second road, which was crossy and wanted wear. But somewhere he was not sure of coming back to the first path because he knew that one way leads to other way, where life is a continuous journey to which no one knows what will happen next. That's why the poet was confused at the same time. Now the fourth stanza and the final one says that I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So here We all being a positive person, I will interpret these final lines as being positive. Here, Robert Frost may be wanting to convey that I took the road less traveled and he took this with confidence in it. And there's a word sigh where it goes, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. So the word sigh can be used to express regret, sorrow, or nostalgia. But when we look into a positive note, sigh may represent happiness or a deep breath, as he is okay with the decision. He means the poet was okay with the decision he took in his life's journey. Now, the poet will narrate to his dear and loved ones that many years ago, as he was walking through a forest, he decided to take the road which was less conventional, and that has made all the differences in his life. Now, when we look in the third and fourth stanza, we find two words, I. There's a rhythm here, and it goes I took the one less traveled by. So, in a positive note, it represents poet's determination and confidence, which can be seen in words like I. Here, I, or in general, I means oneself, which is very quite confident. It is repeated as speaker is trying to accept the decision. Similarly, in life, the choice we make helps us to grow accordingly. So, that's all for this poem. Thanks for joining me for this video. Stay safe and healthy.